What's goody, everybody? It's Full Time Trip. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. That sounds ridiculous to say, but we are in a new year nonetheless. Arsenal 3, Brentford 1. Gosh, at the G-Tech. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We can get right into it. Again, 13 minutes in, we can see the first goal through a Brian Mbeumo move on the counterattack. Not too long past, I think probably a good 15 minutes, and then we equalized with some really good just instincts from Gabriel Jesus to get ahead of a shot from Thomas Partey that was deflected. He got onto that, headed into the goal. Then in the second half, we had some set piece fracas, you know what I'm saying? Set piece again, ole, and then we capitalize on that. Mikel Merino gets his goal, and Gabriel Martinelli off of another dangerous cross finds the ball on the half volley, slots it into the net. That's 3-1. Let's talk about it. First half, getting overrun in the midfield, individual mistakes everywhere, bad reads. It just was a weird start to the entire half, but I think we grew into the game. Again, credit to Brentford, and again, I think this should really put some things into perspective of how good Brentford have been at home, despite injury hits and all stuff like that. They have one of the best home records in the league right now. I think they're like top 3 best home records or something like that. They haven't lost in a long time there, so it wasn't going to be an easy game. It wasn't going to be a cakewalk, and obviously this whole trend where every opposition that we come up against just automatically has 99 shooting whenever they get into a kind of decent position, not even clear-cut goals, but a kind of decent position, and Mbeumo slots that away off of his for like their second attack, I think, like their second shot on goal maybe, and we were in a bit of a hole, but we kept working through it, we kept fighting, and I liked the adjustments today, especially from first half to second. Again, first half, it was just very languid. We were getting overrun. I feel like we were just really getting just sucked into the intensity and how aggressively they pressed. I feel like that kind of caused a little bit of timidity on the ball. Certain things were a little bit slow. I feel like we played a little bit too slow for the tempo that was required. Again, there were a couple standout performers that I definitely want to shout out a little bit later, but from a general play standpoint, the first half just wasn't wasn't all the way there. But again, those little moments to get us in, like again, capitalizing on that fracas off of the Partey shot. I think it was another shot deflected, taking those pop shots and going through. That's the way to go. There's got to be more threat that we induce in these situations. No matter how much dominance we have or try to have in certain periods, there has to be a threat that carries with it, bro. That's the name of the game. Again, obviously we're going to dominate a lot of these games because of how we play, how our structure is. Cool. But who's going to bring the threat of anything can happen at any time, and they have to be ready, or else we're gonna capitalize? And seeing things like, again, like the Partey shot fly through, and then Gabriel Jesus being right on top of it to head it in, wonderful. The set piece, again, wonderful. The carrying from certain characters who I'll get into and shout out and give my honorable mentions. That stuff is what I want to see more often. And I think the adjustments to the second half, it was just the speed of play, the zip, just the confidence to just carry that threat and have a bit more just take more liberties with some of this. Again, just driving into the ball, being a bit more incisive, and just finding those solutions. And I thought it was very good from the team. I think it was probably the first time a couple people were starting with each other this entire season. So again, still connections to be built. But I like the performance. I think this was a pretty big win, considering how good Brentford have been at home, and just considering the situation of, now we're only 6 points or something like that, or maybe even less behind Liverpool. They have games at hand, obviously, but we need to make sure we handle our business. And at an important ground like this at the top of the year, where pressure could be on, and you know what I'm saying, like, it didn't go our way in the first 10-13 minutes, we found a way to convert, capitalize, and adjust to what Brentford were giving us. And we didn't give them barely a sniff in that second half. I think they may have had like a couple things that were maybe kind of close, but I think they had 5 shots the entire game. We had about 14-15, 2 shots on target for Brentford. For us, I think it was probably closer to 5. I think we had a really stellar second half in terms of mitigating them, playing with zip and intention, giving them a lot of questions that they couldn't contend with all the way, and just playing with again, that level of energy that was just too much for Brentford to handle. And that little blitz around the 50th minute mark to get 2 goals ahead, we just cruised the rest of the game and controlled it. It was dope. I really enjoyed that, and that's a marker. Without Havertz, without Saka, that is a good marker of us providing more more threat, providing more comprehensive performances without those big players that are not going to be there for us until, again, Havertz will probably be back again momentarily and stuff in the next week or so. Saka probably won't be back until March, April. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of questions around my head of like, okay, how are we going to formulate threat to match the dominance that we have as a team? And credit to everybody for stepping up in their own ways for that. I will say, to give big ups, I think I don't have to all the way, but I should. Shout outs to Gabriel and Saliba. Every week they just work with like almost flawless perfection. Sometimes, again, there was a little bit of misreads and stuff on the first goal, but generally to win these games, they play to such a high level that it's almost invisible. And the fact that foundation has been consistently laid, and we can just say, oh yeah, it was Gabriel Saliba, they just had another good game. That's a credit to them. That's such a credit to them and the work that they put in and the absolute quality that they do. They're one of the best center back pairings in the world. They're probably, honestly, I can say this with utmost confidence, they're one of the best center back pairings we've had in at least the modern era of Arsenal football. I'll tell you that right now. They sit up there very highly, and I can forecast that right now without question. So shout outs to them. I will say Thomas Partey, I think he had a really, really good game. I know what you are. All right. I know you're playing contract ball, bro. I know what it is, because one of the biggest questions today was, again, Declan Rice is going to be on the bench and Partey was starting. So they're like, yo, these big spaces in transition, how is he going to, find his way around and be a solid asset on the defensive side of the ball? And the thing that stood out to me with him today was he was able to time his pressing and time his like aggression in terms of tackling the ball and breaking up play. He was timing those to perfection, bro. Perfection. Being that extra man to help in certain areas of the pitch, ridiculously helpful, ridiculously like just on point with his tackling. I thought he could have carried into the space a little bit more often. I think second half he was starting to get into that groove of like, oh, there's a lot more space opening up when I'm trying to feint for one of these options out on the wings, but there's a lot more space in the midfield that he could have opened up and drove into. But the beggars can't be choosers. But overall, I think it was a really, really good performance from him. But still, I know what you are, bro. I know what you are. I know. So that's that, and we can kind of hold off on that. I thought David Raya was a lot better after, again, the what transpired in the first half. Again, the goal, I think it kind of he got a little bit carried too far, 2 steps to the right, and then got done a little bit with the goal between him, Gabriel, who didn't see it all the way. I think Calafiori got done the most. And that little save where it kind of fumbled past his hands on the shot, and he had to save it with his the last second. The ball was like halfway already over the line. It was gonna go in, but he saved that. And I think after that he was pretty faultless. So big credit to him as well. I will say Mikel Merino, I think he had a really decent cameo. Again, the goal was much needed. Good stuff to him. Again, I think he was another person that grew into the game as the whole team grew into the game in the second half. But this is something I was talking about with a few people. He's more of a cog instead of a gear, instead of, you know what I mean? Like, he's more of a cog instead of gear. And what I mean by that is, I feel like in this team, we have people who are poised to poach and benefit off of certain attacking scenarios, and his presence in the box and a lot of what he did at the Euros as well, I think that necessitates him being a cog where he's going to benefit from the movements of others and the little, things here and there. He's going to be able to facilitate certain things outside the box, but inside the box, poaching and be ready to, stand on top of that and, and convert. And so he's very good at what he did there. Again, pretty tidy with the ball, a little bit slow in transition in terms of like forcefully slowing it down, but I feel like that's more tactical instruction. But yeah, I was not mad at that at all. I think Merino had a pretty solid cameo, and again, we're going to need him for that level of physicality in duels and physicality in the midfield, and just hopefully the calming presence to continue to recycle the ball, keep it around while people like Havertz are out and Jorginho isn't starting as many games, and Declan Rice isn't as fit right now with the broken toe and recovering from that. So he's needed. Simple as that. Martinelli, I thought his movement today was super, super good, man. Shout out to Bastian on Twitter as well. He was tweeting about that. I thought his movement today was really good. Again, the defensive work as usual was really top. And what we needed to see more, especially after that goal, after that goal and in and around that goal, his movement and his confidence to attack. Isn't it wild that he just kind of like absorbed the confidence gene from Gabriel Jesus? I thought it was pretty funny because when he's on it and he's feeling it, bro, like the way he was attacking 1v1, I haven't seen that in a while. The way he was picking dangerous passes, I haven't seen that in a while. The way he was carrying with the ball, and again, I feel like the game dynamics allowed for that because Brentford were creating a lot of space in behind and in between lines, especially in the second half, so he could benefit a lot. But it's up to him to attack that. It's up to him to make the decision to, again, be forceful and aggressive, to progress the ball, push the ball into the box and make something happen. And I saw more of that today. That's what I need more of. That's what we need more of. So I'm hoping that can be delivered. And I think he had a solid performance today, man. I think he was up there for one of my standout performers. Another one who I'll say was my next standout performer, Nwaneri. Oh my gosh. We found our right winger while Saka's gone, y'all. We found our right winger. I haven't seen, outside of Saka, that composed and that aggressive of an attacking cameo. Just the ability to carry, the ability to drop the shoulder and move past players, the hunger to beat players, the penchant to try and maybe pop a shot or pop a cross. That dynamism I think we haven't had outside of Saka in a pretty decent while. Again, him and Sterling may be comparable in this current side, but that's what we need. That level of hunger and just plain up passion, desire to just beat somebody, get past a man and put into something dangerous to make us convert and get us in the right situations to convert. Again, dominance is there, but now it's who's going to show up to be the threat. Who's going to be the threat to pair with that dominance? And Nwaneri was one of the main people today who answered that question and stood up to be counted in that department. So he was definitely one of my standouts. And my man of the match, I think it's pretty obvious, Gabriel Jesus. I think it was close between him and Nwaneri in my personal opinion, but I think the goal may separate it and the overall performance. He's back to I think he's back to around his best, man. He's back to some of his best work. Just the willingness to press, be in defensive situations, to offer himself on the ball, to just help with the build up and be available in so many different parts of different phases. It's crazy. And today it was about the instinct. It was about the striker's instinct, the poacher's instinct to be in the right place at the right time and capitalize just in case. And he was right there and got us back on level terms when we needed it, when we were kind of on the ropes after, the goal went in from Brentford's part, and from the near goal that could have went in, that was literally like a half a centimeter away from being called a goal. That was what we needed. That was definitely what we needed. And 6 goals in 4 games. This is somebody who's on form, and by God, we need every little bit of attacking nous and just balls to the wall activity in front of the goal if we're gonna hold our own and stay in the race, as we go along, trying to chase Liverpool down and while Saka's out. So that's where we're at. Really, really good day today. I think the tactics were really spot on. It was just down to the player performances and warming into the game. Second half was wonderful. Set pieces wonderful. Everybody did their thing. People who got their little minutes in. I didn't even know that Zinchenko got on. I think that might have been a typo on this thing because I swear that Zinchenko didn't go on. Everybody else got their cameo time. Didn't put too much of a foot in, which is fine. But yeah, we move on to the weekend. Unfortunately, Timber is not there with us as he is suspended for Brighton. So I'm very curious to see what the lineup and stuff is going to be there. Fortunately, I have an idea, but we'll see, man. We got to keep finding a way. And credit to this Arsenal side because they're continuing to find ways after a tumultuous intro to the season with the injuries, the red cards, the tactical changes, the XYZ, etc. We found a way to continue to, innovate and try and find ways to get over the line. And against the Brentford side at home, they've been damn good. This was a testament to that growth and that adaptability. So I hope we see more of that. I hope we have, a lot left in us in the tank. I still believe we can do a job. I still think things can fall our way, but we have to take care of our business first. We got to take care of our business first. And next up, that involves Brighton. So we'll see where we're at, but listen, gotta keep fighting to the end, baby. Gotta keep fighting to the end. I'll wear the badge till we die. That is what it is, man. Till 2025 to infinity. But let me know what you thought of the match in the comment section below. Your favorite player, favorite goal, favorite moment, all that stuff. What you're thinking of Arteta at this moment and his tactics today. What we got next with Brighton, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna get up out of here until the weekend. But It's been Full Time Trip. It's all the time we have. COYJ. Peace.